Oh, I'm happy you didn't hear that because that was quite embarrassing. Mm, mm,
Hear what? Hear what?
Oh my gosh. Let's do this. Yay! Did I just say the same thing like 10 times?
Hello, internet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Is this actually gonna happen?
Look at the shine on my forehead.
I think this is
Golly.
actually gonna happen. I can't believe it.
I think so too.
I'm gonna break Selfish Enigma's rules.
Don't do it, man. He's told you not to.
I'm gonna break the rules.
Oh, don't do it.
Just because.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
He gave me permission in the past to do it.
Yeah, well, he's now said that's a new rule. That's no. That's a no. No. Oh. Well, hello there, Internet. It's nice to see you again after 3 long weeks of being gone. I can't say long weeks of being gone because I'm not necessarily the one that misses this, you know. I think I could probably live without streaming online. I don't see me as any big help.
Why don't you see yourself as a big help?
That'd be great if I really felt like there was a...
I think that you are an amazing person, and people like to hear what you have to hear.
Well, thank you, and I'm appreciative of that, but I just don't see that people are gaining a whole lot of pleasure from what it is that I do.
Why do people watch us then?
I don't think very many people do.
Not a lot of people, but some people do. And I think that that's better than no one like it is right now.
I think people watch us to watch what we eat.
There's a new segment on the show started by Drama for Dada. Are we gonna call him that?
I don't know what we're gonna
Drama for Dada! He is gonna do the strange food session.
He likes to call himself the man with the migraine.
Oh my gosh. I pressed a button. And I'm gonna press another button.
Ooh, isn't that pretty?
That is pretty, Drum for Mama. I agree.
Thank you.
Welcome!
Welcome. Boy,
to VIVOtek.
I look tired today.
You look really tired in this thing, and I know why you're wearing that like that, because there's some promotional material there. Material there that we cannot show off. But welcome everyone. Welcome my friends to VIVOtek.
You got a new hat in the background.
I won the hat. Why do I have this artifact going on?
Because we've got a phone that we don't really want to have, and an internet that gave us problems. See, you got a new hat in the back. You got that from Grandpa's house. Cool. That's nice. Hey, Grandpa's with us.
I gotta move it. Who's with us? Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I'm gonna pull this sound like one of those POS's gangstas. See how POS-y I am right now?
This is like a Survivor's bottle.
Aren't I just like a POS right now with the way that I have my hat on?
Yeah, that's kind of funky.
I hate it. Now I sound like I'm in a wind tunnel, and I look like a big nerd.
Oh man, I
look like such a big nerd. Now I look like a POS nerd.
Why do you call yourself a POS? Are you suggesting that people who wear their hats like this are just nothing more than POSs?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
That's like putting on a tattoo or something. That's like wearing your pants down to like your crotch or whatever.
Okay.
That's how I think about that.
Okay, so we'll just take it off. We'll put it right here. Hey, Grandpa. Right, Grandpa, you want to watch the stream? Excellent. I don't think that Grandpa would like the stream. He wouldn't know what we were talking about.
He'd be like,
whatever. That's okay. So, we had a busy weekend. We had a busy weekend.
I was not busy though.
We had a sick weekend, and then we had a busy weekend.
The last time I talked to you, I wasn't sick. And then I got really sick. I got this, literally like right after the stream, I kind of felt this, tinkle in my throat. And then I went and did some research on this laptop that I was telling you about last stream. Remember that? Yeah. Remember how long ago that was?
That was a long time ago. But yeah, you did a lot of research on a laptop. You had somebody asking you about, some stuff, and so you looked it up for him.
And then what happened that Saturday? I was like, ugh, I'm sick, but I didn't tell you. So I went and it was freezing cold. It was raining. We went to the store and bought some lumber. And I just felt horrible after that, and I was like, you know what, I'm sick. So that's what I told everyone on Discord, that I was sick. And then Sunday I was down for the count. Monday I stayed. Monday I was like, but I gotta get my butt up and I gotta go to school. So I got my butt up and I went to school. Then I was like, I think I need to be sick. So I was sick Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Mhm.
Oh, that hurt so
and it
much.
wasn't
Oh
you saying,
gosh.
I think I have to be sick. It was you saying,
I know I have to be sick.
I can't move. I can't do anything.
Mhm.
And the way that we handle sick in our house, and I have students who do this in varying degrees, or students who have parents who do this in varying degrees. Some saying you are not going to be sick at all, and others saying, and even if you are sick, you are going to go to school. And other parents saying, oh, you got the sniffles, you better stay home.
Mhm.
So somewhere in the middle. We're somewhere in the middle, and we're, well, if you really feel like you can make it, if you don't have a fever, this is how we handle it. If you think that you can make it, there may be a day when you're sicker, and you know you won't be able to make it.
Mhm.
And if today is not that day, then you better go to school.
You know what I have to do? Need to wiggle slip.
Yeah, because he had to go to the doctor because it wasn't an illness that he could just get over.
Mhm.
And I know when we went to visit his teachers on Meet the Teacher Night or open house or whatever it's called, one teacher said, well, I don't know what was wrong with him, but I know that sometimes your body just says, hey, you gotta be. And I'm like, well, yeah, he has a doctor's excuse for being absent. So the doctor gave him medication.
It wasn't just me
Wasn't
saying,
just,
I want to be absent.
it wasn't just a,
Like
geez, I'm really tired
like
and I
my
need
teacher-
to catch up on homework.
Like
and
there's a
I need
teacher
to
that
work
always
on my
says
TSA
that,
and I really think I better be sick.
there's a teacher that always is like, you need to never be absent. Being absent is horrible. Like when you're absent, it's just the worst thing. And then she was like one day, I'm just gonna be absent because I think that I need a break. And I was like, oh my gosh, woman.
And then the teacher that's saying, well, geez, maybe it's just your body. She's always absent. And then she never calls in on time and they never have a sub for her.
Like we had to have the vice principal. And then he stole all her stuff because he was like, I can take advantage of her now because she didn't do this correctly. You wanna see my nutsack? Look at this. This is a quality nutsack right
That
here.
is one quality nutsack.
Oh, I wish that we had people to hear that. That was quality. That was absolute quality.
Well, yeah, he's we buy our nuts from a hippie store and then
A hippie store.
we make up a bunch of nut sacks.
We buy them from Sprouts. I don't know why
Okay.
we'd be so insulting to call it the hippie store.
Well, it's one of those stores that specializes in all
Liberals.
kinds of no, they specialize in all kinds of like health food things. They're very much into health.
What the heck is this? Why are my screens set up like this? I gotta do the
I don't know. So we got a new thing. We got a new thing that that migraine man.
Migraine man?
Yeah.
Migraine man, okay.
Diligent dad.
You gotta test this out.
Dastardly dad. He says he's gonna bring crazy food.
So this is olive, green olive.
Crazy food number 1.
With blue cheese in the middle.
And it's a gourmet olive. It's stuffed with blue cheese. And blue cheese, if you don't know, tastes kind of like, I don't know, penicillin. It's kind of nasty. Although I love blue cheese dressing, just like blue cheese, like
it's
the
not
bluest
so good.
of blue cheese. You think it's not so good? It's kind
So,
of chalky.
If we get 10 viewers in here, I will eat this. I don't want to try it.
Well, you better spit it out because if you eat it now, nobody's gonna come.
I'm gonna leave it in my mouth and go down out and go
You are a man.
my mouth. What? What you call me?
A man.
Mama.
It is chalky, and if you can look, it has this residue. I guess you gotta like the flavor of blue cheese. And I do. I like the flavor of blue cheese. That's my
I like
my
the
go-to
texture.
dressing.
It's
It's
textured
really chalky.
very well.
It's really chalky. I like the
It kind of has a.
Blue cheese is my go-to dressing, so I really do like
It
it.
kind of negates the bitterness of the green
The
olive.
Mm.
Because sometimes
The
it's a
olive
bit
is
too bitter for
tangy.
me.
Yeah, the olive is tangy.
So I kind of like that.
Even
because
these black
the
olives are getting kind of tangy.
And the blue cheese kind of just negates that effect, and I think it's
makes
pretty.
it a little bit sweeter, doesn't it?
I like that. Don't you?
I like it.
Oh! Just kidding.
I say
10 out of 10 IGN.
go get yourself some.
I don't want any more.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to eat them every day, and I don't want 10 of them in a row. But
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a nice
no.
little.
These
That's
though.
nice.
These though, I can eat all of them. Like I'm gonna have a mouthful of 3, and I'm gonna eat all of them at the same time.
You love your black olives,
Good
don't
combination, actually.
you? Well, slow down. Black olive overboard. How many carbs are in black olives?
Too many.
Can you look it up for me?
I wish that we had Google in here. I have her in my bathroom. Guys, PSA right here. If you have a smart speaker, Google Home, Amazon Alexa, whatever, I totally recommend that you have one in the bathroom. Now, make sure you don't get it wet. Don't put it in the shower. Just have it loud enough so you can hear it when you are in the shower.
Do they make a Google that's waterproof?
No, they don't.
Why
Nor an
don't
Alexa.
they make a Google that's waterproof?
I know it would be an
They
ingenious.
have shower speakers, don't they?
Yeah, but they all suck. And it's like, who wants to
yeah.
have a non-waterproof phone and then play music with a waterproof speaker? It's like you're gonna have to put on like an hour-long song, and I don't really know many hour-long songs, so it's stupid. But I totally recommend having a smart speaker in the bathroom because it can do alarms, it can do like calendar reminders.
Broadcasts.
You can be messaging in the bathroom, like doing all your
broadcasts. That's what I do. I broadcast, and I broadcast the countdown because we need to be out of the house by a certain time, or traffic gets really hellish, like nightmarishly hellish.
Oh, she yells at me.
And so
oh boy.
I give the countdown.
She's like, it's 7:40.
Well, yeah, at 7:40 it's like the bewitching hour. At 7:40 we need to be on the road. So I say it's 7:40, which means
she doesn't say it like
done.
that though.
Well, and it means you're done. And I think that because I'm late, and when I'm late, and I've been
yelled at.
Not yelled at yet, but I mean there are people who have been. Not necessarily for being late, but for I think late. Because when I say late, I mean like I need to be there at 8 o'clock, and we're getting there at 8:03. And I don't like being late. I want to be there 5 minutes. I'd rather be there 5 minutes early.
Than 5 minutes late.
Or 10 minutes early.
Or an hour.
I'd rather
early.
be there 10 minutes early than opposed to.
I'd rather be there an
5
hour
minutes
early
late.
than 5 minutes late.
I don't want to be late. There's so many things that we need to get done in the morning, and we're there so. Maybe when we don't have anything after school, when we don't have the one-act play, that we're there until 7 o'clock at night doing.
Oh yeah. One act
then maybe
play
I can get my stuff done at night, but. You know, and I used to be able to get my stuff done at night. So I'd get my lessons on the board, and I'd get my agenda on the board, and I'd get my calendar done, and I'd get my papers photocopied, and I have everything done the night before. But now it's like we're there so late at night that staying another hour is just, I don't want to stay any more than this, any longer than this. You know, we're already driving home in the dark, and I hate doing that. Anyway, so yeah, I would recommend having a Google in the bathroom if you've got a teenager. If you've got a teenager, it's nice. And you have to have a second Google downstairs, and then you can broadcast directly into the bathroom. It is this time right now, and you had better be this. At what time? Yes, I would recommend having a Google if you have a teenager at home.
That's offensive.
I would recommend having a Google at home if you have a teenager in the house, because teenagers have a tendency, have been known to run late. If you've got a teenager that doesn't, you are blessed. But if you do have a teenager that runs late, then you're probably among the many, because teenagers run late. I ran late as a teenager, and now he's started to run late.
You were a bad teenager.
I was a typical. I was a typical teenager. The word typical
I'm not a typical.
is a derivation of the word stereotypical. And
I'm not a
nowadays
typical
people are getting
15-year-old.
all triggered because it's offensive for me to say that if you have a teenager, geez, aren't you grouping everybody together?
I'm beyond offended.
I'm sorry, but more teenagers have a tendency to be running late than teenagers who run on time or who are early.
Wait, no, I did not agree to that. No, I disagree. I completely disagree.
You don't run late?
No, I run late. But not because of my age. I run late because I'm a human.
When you get older, you won't run late. When you get older, you'll want to be early.
What
when
else?
you get older, you will have a tendency to be on time.
Magic genie. Will I be rich when I get older?
Depends on what you choose to do. And it depends
You're
on
a bad magic genie.
Yes, you will be rich because I think that you define rich in ways that aren't monetary.
I define rich like being a billionaire, you know.
A billionaire in what?
Love. And happiness.
Then you're going to be a millionaire.
I don't want to be a million or a billionaire. I just want to have enough money to live comfortably and have things like the iPhone X and stuff like that.
Is that rich? I
Not
have a friend at school who has the iPhone X only because he is
and I know
like
it's
a
iPhone
vehicle 10. Leasing it. So,
I gotta lease my iPhone because it costs so
now
much.
the company has started doing that, and I think that's ridiculous. Anyway,
you know what else I think is ridiculous? You know, I've been using the iPhone 7 for the past 6 months.
Right.
And you wanna look at my daily driver now? Here's my daily driver now, the iPhone SE. And the reason for that is because we got this company called Mint Mobile. It's kind of like, I guess it's a knockoff of Verizon or something like that. T-Mobile, it's a derivative company of T-Mobile. It runs on the same network.
Yep.
So you should have similar speeds.
Yeah.
And we hope to save some money with them because we don't like to pay a lot of money for something we don't use a lot. But the problem is that I was on Virgin Mobile and I bought the phone from Virgin Mobile, so it was locked to that network. And now it's just been a poo-poo. Because I went and inserted.
Was it locked to the network? Because I recall
the line representative said 14 days. And now I know that it must be a year. Because when I inserted the Mint Mobile SIM card into it, it said SIM not supported. But the flaw in that, the thing where we messed up, is that we canceled the Virgin account and made an account with Mint Mobile before we saw if it was going to work. Because we thought that it was going to work, and it did not. So, we completely bamboozled ourselves. We completely bamboozled ourselves.
And it wasn't that it was like a lesson that we had to learn. We already knew that was probably it, but we were under the impression
that it just
all
has
of us
to
in
work.
the household, except for me, were under the impression that
it was going to work.
That there was a 14-day tie-in period where you couldn't. What's that called? Break the phone? What's that called?
Unlock.
I'm
gonna go and break my phone to the Metro PCS network. Break it.
Anyway, so now it kind of really just is really irritating because your phone service has to come through Mint Mobile now, right? But your phone is locked to the Virgin network, right? So you are stuck using
this iPhone SE. And don't get me wrong, the iPhone SE is an excellent device. I still recommend it in 2019. But the only flaw is that the screen size is so small that it's just really hard to type. And the other thing with this handset in particular is that the battery life is abysmal. Like, I think that around 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. about, I had 40% battery life. And doing basic installing applications, you know, registering with some accounts and watching videos, within about, I'd say, at 3 p.m., it was at 8%.
Yeah,
so that's unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable. That sounded really funny.
Did I show you my nutsack?
Whip out my nutsack. Whip it out. Whip. Ow! Oh, jeez. Okay, this is a bit loud. Can you hear me through this? Because it's so loud? It's pretty crazy for me. I'm gonna do the loudness experiment to see how easily I can blow out my eardrums.
Shall we not?
It does not sound like I'm talking, that's the thing. It sounds like I'm listening to me back on feedback because I hear myself better through these than I do with my own ears.
Is that a teenager thing?
What? What are you talking about?
I don't think that anybody over the age of 28 would say, let me do this test to see how loud I can actually talk before I blow out my eardrums.
I think that you are ridiculous.
And you know what? That's why you had to go to the doctor, because you were almost having eardrum problems.
I had an ear infection. I had a buildup of wax in my ears, and that bacteria kind of just sat in there. Dirty bath water got in there, dirty shower water, and that bacteria formed to create this infection. And what the doctors had to do is they had to put a syringe of, I think it was a peroxide solution, into it. They just, let all that dirty water, that dirty goo come out. And what happened after that, because I kind of had an onset infection coming into my right ear, what happened after that was, apparently it came back. It got inflamed somehow, and it was the worst ear infection. I could hardly move. It hurt. I couldn't hear out of it. Like, I was basically deaf in this ear.
It was clogged.
And
you were
it
solid.
It just was horrible. And that was after I stayed home for 4 days. I was worried that I was going to have to stay home again, and I was like, I'm not staying home.
I was worried you were going to have to go back to the doctor and have him do something
drastic,
yeah.
Like surgery.
Like tubes or something. And they don't put tubes in older kids, but you were just not draining that. It was all right here.
Oh, yeah. And I still have some sort of, like, when I do this, sometimes when I know that just like I was holding my nose, but I was holding my nose, and then I was blowing.
And trying to blow your nose. Trying to blow your nose. And that puts pressure in your ears.
And that was starting to pop it. And sometimes it still gets kind of in there. Yeah. And that's still not good. And I'm still coughing. Like, seriously. After so long.
And here's the thing. When he went to the doctor, the nurse had said something about
my pimples. My acne.
And so when the doctor subscribed the medication, he described minocycline.
Which is an antibiotic.
It's an antibiotic that will treat an upper respiratory, like what he had, but it also treats
acne in particular. And I think that it's a really low strength antibiotic, so it's not killing like all these things in my mouth or anything.
But it's 3 months, and then after 3 months, then it might be another 3 months. So it's every day that you're taking a penicillin.
I missed mine yesterday, didn't I?
Because I went to sleep early. Right, but every day you're taking an antibiotic. So every day it's working to kill things, but I think that it was because it was so low grade, and because he put you on that,
it just didn't help with this.
That's going to help
enough.
What I wish he would have done was say, so take this dose for 3 times a day or 4 times a day for the next 3 days, and then after that you can start taking it once a day at a particular hour. I wish that he would have said that.
This is like a fine wine.
But he just didn't. You're a fine wine. Okay, so we got back from TSA weekend.
TSA regionals. We did not do well as a TSA. It was probably our worst year. And I'm embarrassed because I worked my hardest to make sure that these freshmen especially were going to progress forward, and they just didn't.
They got close.
They did. The vast majority of them got to semifinal round.
Right. The vast
But they
majority
didn't. They
of
didn't
them.
progress
I
any
think
further.
all of the freshmen got to the semifinal round, made it into a semifinal round, and then just didn't progress onto state. So they were very sad. They were very upset with themselves.
And
But
even for prepared presentation, which is you go and give your PowerPoint, whatever, I was over the time limit because they did not alert me of the time when I was giving the presentation, which is generally a standard, like for debate. Because she judged debate on TSA weekend last week, so she made sure that pop up this 30-second card, and if she forgot to pop up a 30-second card, she would offer them an extra 30 seconds.
I had to pop up a 15-second card, so I'd offer them an extra 15 seconds. If they got to the end and I said, I apologize for not alerting you of the time, did you need an additional 15 seconds? There's no skin off my chin to do that.
And the thing also was, but they didn't do that for me. So I went way over my time.
Not only did they not offer that, they took off 1 point for every 10 seconds over, and you were 40 seconds over. So they took off a total of 4 points.
And I'm pretty sure
when I got to the end of my debate, the difference between going to state, the difference between first, second, third, and fourth place didn't progress, did not go to state, was 1 point. So fourth place had like a total of 208 points, and then second place had 207, 206, 205. So what if that would have been the case with you? And it irritates me because you were not alerted to the time. And if you would have been alerted to the time,
I would have ended my presentation.
You would not have kept talking. You would have wrapped it up. And so that's really irritating. But
so I didn't make it. I got 5th place in that, which I'm not happy with. I did not make it to state with that.
And three progressed, but what if the difference between 5th and 2nd place was 4 points? But what if the difference between, if 5th and 2nd place would have been 4 points, then you would have been in, and I don't know why you're semifinal. I mean, you had to go in and do your LEP interview stuff, so I don't know.
I wasn't even LEP interviewing, it was something different. But what happened with board game design, which is the other competition that I did, was you had 2 schools. One school got 1st, one school got 3rd, the other one got 2nd and 4th. But the rules for that is 3 per region, 3 chapters, 3 schools per region get to progress forward. So although we got 5th place,
from the same school.
Although we got 5th place, we were the 3rd best school, so we got to go forward. And I'm not happy with 5th in that also. I was not happy to see them, but we still made it to state, which I'm always happy about. State competition is always a blast in Fort Worth, Texas this time around.
Well, I'm really upset though that your advisor isn't really checking into it though, because as a judge, I'm alerted to the fact that, you know, it's possible. I want to send the 3 best teams. Well, I don't know. Maybe the judges in your round said we're sending the 3 best teams. These are the 3 best teams for prepared presentation. Maybe, I don't know.
And what we're doing then is, because I think the reason why we didn't do so well was because everything was designed on the board itself, and the board was not very intuitive. It didn't really have any interesting dynamic. So what I did was I booted up the good old Adobe Illustrator, and I've been doing a mock-up design in it, as you can see right here.
Where have you been learning Illustrator?
In my digital DIM, my digital. Oh my gosh! I forgot the name of the acronym, but it's the DIM class. It's your design class. So here is my file in Illustrator. It's a rough mock-up.
This is a super rough
Super rough, but it's starting to take shape. As you can see, I have different placeholders in.
It's
right
for
here.
6-year-olds.
The name of the game is called Trash Can Kitties. You have to go around the city. You have different cats with different aspects, and you roll a dice to see how far you go. And then when you reach these right here, you're gonna have a little spinner. And let me show you kind of like the mock-up for my spinner right here. You're gonna have to roll this, and it's gonna have an image of either, in this case, I think it's an apartment complex. In this case, it's gonna be a restaurant.
Can we see
and in this case, it's going to be a pound.
Can we see what you do?
So here is the mock-up that Drama for Mama actually drew. She did a great job. Let me go back here. And that's basically what we're trying to recreate in the computer program. And at first I was like, this isn't going to work out too well because we have to draw it all in. But one, we have a great artist on the team, so she's going to do all of the picture design itself.
Here's the little spinners, and they're like, this is an apartment because this is the first place that the little stray cat can go to. And this is where they're going to find shelter. So the big hazard is a dog. So right here, they have to spin to see how much energy they can accumulate as they stay in this particular apartment complex. And they need to stop here. The board stops here. So they can't roll past this. They have to stop here. So they spin it, and if they can land on any one of these, then they get that much energy, and they need to have so much energy that they expend as they go forward in these little trials. So like they might land here, and this might say something, 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 you know, you need 3 energy to move forward. So they have to spend 3 energy, or whatever. So they get so much to get here. So they have to have so much energy to move forward on the board. And if they get into a dog fight, or if they get chased by a dog, then that's the big hazard here, and they actually lose food, or they lose energy, or they might even lose like a life.
What they have to do, they don't necessarily lose lives, they take disability cards. So you have like, this cat can go slower now, they don't get as much food, or they consume more food. Just different disadvantages for getting really bad things in the game, really bad events.
So the spinner itself can pop. It's like a 5x5 inch spinner, and then it can pop completely off the board, and you can pass it around and spin it, or it has a little placeholder on the board itself. So then you get to the restaurant. The restaurant is where you're going to find food. So in the restaurant, you're spinning for food. But the rats are all over this particular district. So the rats can take all of the food, and the rats might take all of your food. And so you're going to have to sit here and wait and spin and spin and spin until you've got enough food so that you can move on. And then it's the same in the commerce district. You can go to the commerce district, and that's where you're going to have a lot of hazards because you've got people and taxis, and you run the risk everywhere. Once you get into the city, you run the risk everywhere of getting caught by the dog catcher, and the dog catcher will take you to the pound, and you'll have to lose a turn in the pound. We also have an area where we thought we might put a vet. So you might, if you get injured, you might have to go spend the night in the vet. So you might have to lose a turn in the vet. And then from the commerce, then you walk across. Then you walk from the commerce. You walk across the bridge, and once you're in the bridge, once you cross the bridge, then you're in the park. And once you're in the park, then you've got to follow a certain path that leads you to trash can after trash can after trash can after trash can. And then you can go through picnickers, and that might leave a lot of extra food here in this can, and then you can hunt mice if you're good at hunting mice down here, fish if you're good at fishing. Then over here is another garbage can where all the cats can equally share. And then by the benches you've got old people who will give you food, and then here you've got an ice cream cart, and then here you've got children who will give you food. And then over here you got another garbage can, and then you cross the bridge over here and you're on a pavilion by a shelter, so then you got another garbage can, and then you come down here, and from this point then you can make it onto the highway. If you've gathered up enough food, then you can make it onto the highway, and the highway is just fast track slide. Once you get up here, it's just a fast track slide straight to the house. So if you've got enough food, you can exit the park. But if you don't have enough food, then you've got to, at this point, you've got to loop back around and go this way and gather up as much food as you possibly can and just continue the cycle until you can get yourself out and then to your house, to your newfound home. You can also start in the prairie, and getting food is really difficult here, and you've got a lot of hazards. And then at this point, you get to, if you roll the perfect score, I think it's a 5. If you roll a perfect 5. Then you get to cross these rocks over here to get right into the park. You don't have to go at all through the city. It has to be a perfect roll, but you don't have to go at all through the city and all of these hazards if you roll a perfect score. But trying to get over these 8 stones here is really hazardous, and you could end up losing all 9 of, or practically all 9 of your lives. And when you get into the park, you could have like 1 life left. One of your 9 lives could be left here.
Isn't that cool? I think that it really is cool to have different environments give you different advantages or disadvantages. And I think that that's really where we were going with the original design, but it just didn't really get there because it was just a generic board where you could either go this way or this way and you just get home. This just is so much more dynamic. And that's what the main designer on the project said. She said this board is just a lot more adventurous. So I'm really excited about this.
Good.
And I think that it's really going to turn out nicely on the program itself because...
Now, here's one of the things, though, that I had the pleasure of going with the freshman class to the zoo yesterday.
Do you want me to milk a joke till it's dead?
Sure.
You want to see my dongle and nutsack? Here's my dongle. My dongle. You get it?
Gotcha, I get it.
I'm pretty sure everyone gets that.
Yeah.
Unless you're like 5.
They're asking us if we're 5. Okay, so I had the pleasure of going to the zoo with the freshman class the other day. And
the zoo?
I hadn't... Yeah, the zoo. And I was equally pleasured by having... Pleasured?
Pleasure.
That's the right word. I was equally honored.
Honored? Why are you so honored about this? Like, oh, this is so... You're like one of those people that just use all these words to make it sound so good, even though they really hated it.
Nice. No, it was
You're
nice.
Like, oh, I just had the pleasure of...
I didn't have a great time at the zoo, but I had a really nice time on the bus.
Oh, on the bus?
Yeah, I did. Because I had 4 really marvelous freshmen that I was sitting close by. So they were fun. Fun freshmen. And so I had the joy of speaking with one of your TSA freshmen. All the way up there. The one that you, in every interview, you said, man, I tell you, you are the perfect TSA student.
Her name will start with a C?
Yeah, okay, you are the epitome of what we want in TSA. So she was very honored that you would say that of her because she respects you a lot. Anyway.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Anyway, so we were talking and I said, well, you know, she's also in my 1-act play. And I said, well, you know, if we never rehearsed 1-act play, if we just said, hey, anybody who wants to be in the 1-act play, we can take 20 people tops. You tell us, do you want to be in cast or in crew? And then we'll hand you the play.
Oh, jeez, that would never get done.
We'll hand you the play.
That's what TSA is.
But that's exactly what TSA does. And I said, well, you know, what would our chances of doing really well in the 1-act be if that's what we would do? If we would just say, and here's all the music that you'd need, and here's some of the set design concepts of set design, and here's some of the costumes that you might choose to wear, but you don't have to. We'll give you everything that you need, and we'll provide you with the rules, but you guys get together and get this practiced. And she said it would be pathetic. We would not advance. We would never go far at all.
And that's it.
But that's exactly what TSA does.
What I really encouraged TSA to do this year was to have some of the advisors and its fellow officers to go and judge these events before regionals, but time just went like this, and we were not able to do that.
Well, one of the problems, I think, one of the biggest problems I think that we have is that our campus administrators
They hate us.
They do not.
You can't stay on a Monday. You can't stay on a Friday. You can't meet during lunch. You can't meet for a club on a Tuesday or a Thursday, so you can only meet on a Wednesday.
And that's all clubs. Have to meet just on that day. Now, that doesn't say that you as individuals can't meet, and that you can't say, I am quote unquote tutoring. I'm not going to get paid to tutor them, but I don't get paid anyway. I stay Monday through Friday and I don't get paid anyway. But, you know, I would be there and I would help the debaters. I would help them, you know, practice their speaking and come up with, you know, and we would study logical fallacy and we would talk about, you know, some of the like the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people sort of philosophies, things like that, you know, that we would really bring home in this idea of debate. And then I would pit two of our teams against each other, and we would practice, and we would have judges that would come in and listen and evaluate and comment, and you know, we could do that if we wanted to. But it really feels like you guys got this board game done, you didn't even get an opportunity to play it before you put it in a box.
And I was documentation, that's why. So I did all the write-ups, and I made sure that everything was together, but I did not design any of the game. And there was a lot of little suggestions that I would have made, like the box is so flimsy that it was ridiculous. I would have never, ever, ever let that slide because it explicitly said in the rules the box is not flimsy. I'm pretty sure that's why we got fifth and not fourth or third. I'm pretty sure that's why.
Probably.
The judges, I'm pretty sure, like, ugh, no, ugh, ugh.
Why didn't she? Why couldn't we use like a foam board?
I don't know. She decided to make it out of cardstock, and if she told me that, I would have said no. I would have just been like, use something else.
Anyway, no, I didn't. But
I
anyway,
said use something else.
Anyway, that's all. You know, that's neither here nor there. But you've got a lot of competitors who just aren't ready, but they're not ready for state. And I think that, you know, and they're doing a lot of last minute things. And sometimes I think our teams get really lucky. But unfortunately, we are running into. Are you listening?
Oh yeah, I'm doing ASMR sounds though. Why don't you listen? Because it sounds really satisfying.
It's okay.
What were you saying though? About team competitors?
You got BPA also telling me the same thing. The sponsor of BPA said, you know, last year we took like 26 kids to state, and this year we took 12.
That's exactly the same thing that happened to us.
You know what's going on?
What?
Brownsville schools are practicing. They're practicing. They are saying, I can't possibly just give you the rules and say, oh, you want to be in this one? Good luck. You need to show me what you're doing, and I'm going to evaluate you. Like a classroom project. I'm going to give you amount of time to get it done. It needs to be done. You can tweak it after that. Doesn't have to be your final thing. But I want your board game in front of me. I want to get out the rules. I want to play with the pieces that you made. I want to play the game a couple of times, and I want to see how well it works. I want to do that.
And we needed to do that. We needed
every
to do
single
that.
event and every single competitor needs to be evaluated beforehand. You
And
can't say
it doesn't matter
we're
how
be successful just because we've always been successful. Other schools are evaluating their competitors.
because
They are evaluating their entrances.
And the thing is, we didn't do well this year. No matter what they say, like, we did not do well.
It's not just TSA. None of our schools, none of our
Clubs.
BPA, Taffy, BPA, none of the clubs did well. And they didn't do well, I don't think because they couldn't really get together. That's a problem. TSA used to meet every Wednesday.
No, you had TSA Tuesdays. That was a big thing. TSA Tuesday. Right now you don't have that
and
anymore.
you'd wear a tie.
It's
Tuesday. That's right, it's Tie Tuesday. TSA Tie Tuesday.
The Techie Tuesday.
It's Techie Tuesday. You'd wear a tie.
Did they have a culture back in the day?
Yes.
It's just been taken away from us.
Yes.
I wish that I would have been a part of that culture.
I do too.
Why
can't we have that? Because we have to get our grades up, and because we have such pathetic students in our school, the majority of our students are pathetic. We have a handful of students who are phenomenal and who want to do a serious amount of work, like the girl that I was speaking to, and the crowd that she hangs around with, and they want to spread the news that Beta is a fabulous place, but
nobody else does.
They can't do that because they're the smallest faction in our school, and even though they're the kids that we really should be focusing on, the kids that are doing horribly, the kids that are troublemakers, the ones that are lazy, the ones that don't get it for whatever reason, who slip through all of the cracks and the crevices through Montessori schools or through schools that put a workbook in your hands and said do X number of pages to graduate, those and then brought them to Beta thinking that they were A students. Those are the kids that we have to focus on, and then it's all about the data. So we are data driven. So on Monday it's you get together in teams and you talk with your teams about this, and you put the data and you compile the numbers and then you get the statistics down, and then at 3 weeks, I need to know what your data is.
And the problem with
next 3 weeks, I need to know what your kids are and who's in danger of failing that 9 weeks. And then at the next then you've got your 9 weeks, and I need your data then to see if there's been any changes, and you need to make a comparison between the first, the second, and the third testing of this data pool. And I understand that in philosophy that works really well, but these kids over here that are going to make our schools great, that's going to give us a name, that's going to go places and do things and be fantastic kids, get really burned out really fast because nobody cares about them. Because these kids are the really, really important ones. And they're not. They're important, yes, but they're not more important.
But I guess their thing is that, well, they're going to fail. So we need to make sure that they don't fail because we don't want a bunch of failing statistics.
I don't need to go to tutorial.
Because they canceled tutorial.
You must have tutorial.
But they canceled tutorial.
You must have tutorial.
When I was absent.
I don't need tutorial.
When I was absent, I needed to go to tutorial super badly, and I knew it because I had work that they needed to make up. Not because I wasn't necessarily understanding, but just
you were gone.
And I wasn't taught, so I needed to be taught sometime. But they canceled tutorial like all those days, and one of them was because unfortunately our counselor did pass away, which is quite a heartbreaker, quite a shocker.
Very
so
tragic.
That was one reason why they canceled, of course. But all the other times it was just like, this is ridiculous. Kids need to be in tutorial. You can't say you only have 3 days out of the 5-day week to go to tutorial. One of those days is taken away by clubs. I'm making some Satan symbol now, probably. Oh, jeez. And the other 2 we're gonna also take away.
I don't want you to make a Satan symbol. Thank you.
Was that a Satan symbol?
I don't. It looked pretty close to one. I don't want you to say, I think I'm making a Satan symbol. Let me just go ahead and keep doing it. I didn't want a Satan symbol in my house. I don't want to attract any of that.
I wouldn't deliberately do that.
No, I know you wouldn't, but it doesn't matter if it's deliberate or not. If it's invited and if it's thought about and if it's considered and then it's continued, you're unintentionally bringing in.
If I knew that it was that,
really,
then
really
I would have not been doing
and
that.
Really, really wretched and really, really ungodly. And thank goodness that God is behind us. You know, that God is.
If I knew that it was that, I would have not been doing that.
No, I understand that. I'm not blaming you for anything. What I'm saying is that the devil is very, very sneaky and powerful. And we make him powerful, more and more powerful every day, by saying, well, let's just call it a religion and make it a choice. And then we can put billboards up and say, now you're being mean to all of the Satanists out there who don't celebrate Christmas because Christ isn't the savior of anybody. Satan is the all-powerful. And Christ put him in the ground. Or God put him in the ground. And now we all as Christians say, oh geez, we feel bad for the Satanists. And we're like, what? You know, we were supposed to be burning witches at the stake for a reason. Not to say that we need to go back to that. You know, I don't think that we need to go back to that. But we need to be aware of, you know, the premise of Christianity and how powerful Satan can be. And Satan is, he's a devil for a reason, you know.
Well, no, I don't need to have this dongle anymore.
You know, well, for a while, I mean, now you might be looking at something that might be a new phone, because you might be looking at changing networks now that you've been away from T-Mobile for a while. You may have to go back to T-Mobile. And so
Metro
you've got
PCS.
you've got a 7 there. So would you want to do an iPhone or?
Because I have the watch, yes. Because if I do away with iPhone right after getting this Apple Watch, then that would be stupid. But I don't want to downgrade my phone at all, like I did right here. I really want to avoid that. But I don't want to buy an identical iPhone 7. You know what's weird? I just had a dream that I had 2 iPhone 7s. Is that saying something? And then right when I woke up, someone was complaining about changing their SIM card to the Samsung Galaxy S10. And then I think in another dream there was something about changing a SIM card or something. So it was just inevitable.
Yeah, you were telling yourself that something terrible is going to happen. So you've got your, and I know you don't have, because obviously you've got what's in the Metro PCS company, right? But you've got your dream phone, and you say, I see as I'm reading whatever's going past on your little screen, after I was sick.
Oh, you want to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Fold?
Sick.
You want to talk about that piece
that,
of crap? I'm just kidding.
You got that phone up there, so you said
it is an awesome little device.
I surveyed people, and they said, "Hey, let's talk about the Samsung foldable phone, the foldable phone."
You know, it's an awesome little device. I appreciate the engineering that went into that, and I appreciate the ideas that they have. But the critical flaw of it is, one, the front screen is way too bezelful. Way too bezelful. It just has this huge bezel.
Full of bezel?
And it makes it really hard to use. If they extended that like all the other phones, like their Infinity O display that they have in the brand new S10, that would be awesome. Second of all, when you fold it, it's like this thick. It's remarkably thin, but it's still very, very thick. And third of all, it costs $2,000.
What?
$2,000.
What?
That's too much. No one's gonna buy that. Because you might have people buying the iPhone at $1,500. But I don't see anyone buying a consumer product at $2,000. That's like a car. You could buy a car for that, a used car.
You used to be able to. Well, maybe a pretty bad used car for $2,000.
A Honda Civic from 1999.
Maybe you go. Maybe a car from Mexico. I don't know.
That's racist.
So can I see a picture of it? Do you have like a picture of it?
You want to see the Galaxy Fold, my friend? That was really creepy, wasn't it? Oh boy. And what's really appealing about it is that it opens up so you can see the screen and have like a 7-inch tablet. Also, I wish that was a bit bigger.
Is this the phone that you were telling me about right before competition when you said, you know, we do have a phone that stretches, or this is it?
And the screen itself can fold, basically. And
that's a great picture right there.
Enhanced multitasking. See, this is the bezel fold that I was talking about. Let me pull that on screen. Let me pull this on screen here. Hold on. Alright, so this is what we're talking about right here. So it is just full bezels.
That's amazing, though.
It is quite a remarkable device. Let me see if I can get a better picture of that fold action right here. Let's see. I think that this is a correct mock-up. I'm not completely sure on that. Let's see. See that fold right there? Isn't that cool? It's just cool. It might not be practical. I think it's actually impractical.
So why does the front of the phone need to have so much space around it.
Beats the double
once you
hockey
get it
sticks out of
fold-
me.
But once you get it unfolded, then it looks like it goes corner to corner to corner to corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once
So-
you get it unfolded, then it looks
It isn't
fabulous.
I wonder what hardware they're hiding under there. I have no idea because it's like
Then why do they have to put their little "Let's Go Digital" or whatever that "Let's"?
that's just a watermark
digital.
from the
Oh, that's
website
just
that
a
I got it
watermark.
from.
Okay.
But like the reason why you have it not just because you have all these sensors in there, like a video sensor and proximity sensors, but in a fold device, it's like you can still have a regular bezel like this thick. Why do you have to have it this thick?
So let me see the
So
the
that just-
thickness.
that just makes
show
it-
me the thickness.
It makes it a hard sell for me, just on that alone. And
That's
the
the one that
thickness
we have,
isn't.
the thickness right there. You
Here's
see
someone
it?
using it, so it's probably about the thickness of this with the pop socket itself, I'd say.
Probably that thick, yeah.
So that's not too bad.
No,
but
it's
still
not
kind
terrible,
of a hefty
but
device.
but if you look at
It's kind of like an iPhone if you have a
like
battery
this.
bank on it, a battery case.
this is just
I know.
because it's boy that is
I think that the remarkable part is what they did inside the screen itself.
yeah inside the screen because this
In the
versus
software itself, the software, like when you can detect if it's folded and do certain things for that. I think that that's where it's also really cool. Let me show you
does
this.
Huawei have something? Does a Huawei Mate X?
Wait, how do you see that?
Huawei?
Huawei.
Huawei.
Huawei. Huawei.
That's what it looked like to me. It looks like an H. That's Huawei?
I just got it. I know, it's like, why did they pronounce it Huawei?
That's Huawei?
Huawei.
Okay.
We have a Huawei watch, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's not a bad little company.
But we
That's what I
prefer
was
the
saying,
Apple, don't we? We prefer the Apple Watch.
Yeah, you definitely do prefer the Apple Watch. When you finally, what's that?
You have finally witnessed the thickest phone we've ever seen.
That's a pretty thick phone.
clearly a joke.
But that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty.
But it's
Pretty
still
wild.
thick. That's kind of
But-
accentuated the point right
But
there.
I'm telling you, that's kind of neat. I mean,
Mhm.
once you get it all unfolded, it is kind of
And
neat.
this is some multitasking right here. See how you can have your little window here, little window there, and little window there?
Yeah,
I think that that's another cool thing about it.
well, because it has the room to do that. That's why I'm saying if you can have that much room once it gets unfolded, then why do you have to have all of the bezel clear around it when it's not?
Mm-hmm. You want to see the phone that I want, though?
Oh Lord, here we go. Yes, your phone is no longer functional. The 7S or 7, what was the phone that you have? A 7 blah, 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 7 blah, blah.
No.
Uh-oh, you wanna flash back to the 90s, huh?
No, I'm just BSing you.
You know,
What I
we
really
had
want.
those phones.
Oh.
Do we have those? Can we find those?
we don't.
They've got to be somewhere in the house because I had a flip phone. I had a candy bar phone too. Did you find my
This
candy bar
is the phone that I want. Look at that. Just look at that.
Wow. Talk about
This is,
retail
I think, the
space.
best phone on the market, hands down. It
You
beats
know,
out all the Pixels.
I know you have always shown me
All the iPhones.
when we go into the market to look at a phone, I'm always Samsung crazy.
And the thing
They've
about
got,
this
they've got
is that you,
AirPods now.
well, it looks like the camera
What do they
died.
call them?
The thing about this is that you have your headphone jack. You have reverse wireless charging on the back. So if you have another phone that supports wireless charging, you can put that onto the back and charge it with this phone.
No.
Mm-hmm. You have, of course, that Infinity O display. So all the bezel, all the notch, is simply
Gone.
just.
You've got real estate.
You just have that little tiny dot.
Bitty dot.
And I think that that's something that you could really get used to instead of a big bezel that takes up about that much space. Let me show you the iPhone X for perspective.
For perspective.
Why am I doing that? Ugh!
For perspective.
S10 million. Oh, I was like, what is that? Alright, hold on. iPhone X. S. Max. You know, you gotta see that. This is the XS Max.
Yikes.
Look at that.
Yeah, they got a big old stonker.
Big old stonker, baby.
But now that you've got your watch, you're probably pretty much tied to your Apple device. So if you
can never get away. Never get away. Yeah.
Would you want a 10?
Yeah.
So,
That's a knock.
man, I was hoping he'd say, nah, I don't need a 10. Fudgizzle.
Well, it's one of those, I'm probably eventually gonna end up with the design, inevitably.
Yeah.
Like I inevitably ended up with the iPhone 7, and now I'm gonna inevitably end up with an iPhone 10.
What happened to our phone?
Wait, could you bring the whole thing to me? We're gonna do this online because we might as well. Let's see. It is deader than a doorknob.
Oh, I wondered.
So let me get out my phone right here. My daily driver. And we can get up this Epicam HD, and I'm gonna force you to put it on the tripod also because I'm really lazy and I don't like putting stuff up on tripods.
Do I need to go this way?
The other way.
The other way? This
Completely the other way. Yeah.
Completely the other
No,
way?
the other way like that. The camera's on the back. And then
No,
there
we
you
go.
got it. You got it.
I hope it stays because it's wobbling like a loose tooth.
You're wobbling like a loose tooth. Alright, so let's see how much the iPhone X costs from Metro PCS. Apparently they're now just Metro.
Say hello to Metro. You like that? It's a cute little design, isn't it?
Alright, let's see. iPhone X. And I'm not looking at the XS, I'm just looking at the X.
Do you remember when you made a game when you were like 5?
Oh yes, I do. That was a fun little game. I always made games. I always made stuff when I was 5. Could you press the Epicam thing on the phone thingy? Thank you for being my servant, mother. Guess how much the iPhone 10 costs for Metro?
What do I need to do?
Press the home button and then press the red thing that says VIVOtek, if you can find it. It should be on the first screen.
It says Touch ID.
Well, take my finger.
Oopsie. And then Applecam, you erased Applecam.
I erased it.
Well, it was there. Now I'm pressing the home button and it's just taking me home. Take me home, country roads. What?
Ah.
See, it's a loose tooth.
I'm sorry about that, guys. Look at this thing. Guess how much it costs? Cancer and reproductive harm. That's how much it costs right there.
It costs you reproductive harm
And
and it gives you cancer.
then it also burns a great big hole in your wallet, doesn't
Well,
it?
it does. $700?
I thought it would be a bit cheaper by now. Good gosh! Are you freaking kidding me, Apple?
Still.
My gosh, it's only 64 gigabyte and you want that much effing money for it? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your minds, Apple?
What other
Good
phones
gosh.
do they have?
Huh?
What other phones do they have?
Treat yourself to iPhone with $49. I want this iPhone. Oh, it's only the 6S. I don't want that crappy phone. Let's see.
What other iPhones does
LG
it have?
Astral.
You need an iPhone, so what other iPhones does it have?
Let's see. Baby
need to find another sound effect
for
when the ghost makes their appearance.
Wow. Is that annoying?
A little bit. Not much though.
Inspector Gadget boy.
Where are the iPhones?
Smoke weed every
Bring
day.
on the iPhones, man.
I smoke weed. I want to look at shop phones. I am shopping my phones. I want Apple
iPhone
devices. Okay, no.
Nope. It doesn't have an
I
Apple.
want Apple.
It has Samsung.
Let's see how much the Samsungs cost. Let's go to Samsung here. The S9, they want 549. They want $0 for the J7 Star. Yeah, no, thank you. Galaxy A6. Boy, that's a bargain. Let's see, J3 Pro. Good God, no,
but the
thank
S9,
you.
that's not a bad price for what S9s were. They were pretty bad, right?
You know what I want? I want a 3D printer. I don't want a new phone. I want a 3D printer, and I want to put a down payment on a CNC machine. That's what I'd like.
I don't think you get any use out of it. Once.
The 3D printer? Or the CNC? Okay, maybe not the CNC, but I think the 3D printer I'd like.
To make what?
I don't know.
What'd you print? What would you print?
Little
I think
survival
you need to go
gadgets.
ask all of the people that you listen to. And
you know what I'd print? I'd print you cookie cutters. That's why you need a 3D printer, so you can make custom cookie cutters. Now you want one. See, I convinced her. That's how you convince the woman in your life to get you a 3D printer. It's good advice, isn't it?
I think he's trading a really thin ice, don't you? Really thin ice. I think what you need to do is ask all of your buddies that you listen to in your little.
Hey Jerry, why do you think
What do you use your 3D printer for? What is the greatest use that you've gotten out of?
Actually, he's answered that question so many times, and you know what his advice is?
What?
Tell your wife that you can make a cookie cutter. That's his advice.
What does he make with it though?
He can make like little game stands. He can make little props and little, like he has a knob for his mixer board that is his face. Isn't that awesome? I could have my face on my mixer board.
Speaking of mixer boards, we've got a mixer board at school that should be able to play through the PC, because that's where we have all of our music. So our PC, and then it's got area channels 22 and 23 and 24, which are designated for the PC. But it's never worked that way. For the 3 or 4 years that we've had this board, it's never worked that way. So you were in the midst of trying to figure this out last night when we were there until 7:30.
Yes, and I was never able to figure it out because it's just stupid. And did you see my face through that Twitch? We're twitching tonight, baby. Twitch.
Twitching. We have to wipe off the fuzz.
Wipe off the fuzz. Boom, 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 boom.
So what do you think? I mean, because yours goes through the PC, no problemo, and you just crank it up.
It's because they don't have it set up correctly. Oh, jeez, I'm doing all the twitching tonight.
Why is it twitching like that? But why did it do that? I mean, you didn't do that. It's like like you invited a demon into the.
When I was doing that symbol thing.
It's like you invited a demon in through your stream, and now he's like making you. I just did it. How did I do that?
You're doing the twitching. Let's see if we can twitch anymore. Because that's what we do on Twitch. We twitch, right?
I don't want to move at all because I don't.
My audio is also out of sync. That's the problem.
I don't want to move at all because if I don't want a demon to take over and make.
Oh gosh! Oh, that was insane. Let's see if I can do it anymore. I hate the clothes that I'm wearing.
Really frightening.
It's creepy.
Why is it doing
Can
that?
I get it again?
No, I don't want to invite any of that. Why am I slowing down? What's going on here?
Whoa, oh, whoa, whoa.
Thank goodness.
Oh, geez, we're back. Oh, my lord. Oh, my lord.
That was terrifying.
All right, guys. So thank you for watching the stream. I hope that you all enjoyed.
Oh man, now it's bad.
I guess it's time to end. You didn't get to see my foot. I'm sorry. For all of you that really wanted to see my foot, you just didn't get to see it.
Maybe you'll have to tune in next time where maybe not,
You'll
but
get
maybe
to see my foot.
He'll show his foot.
Alright, guys,
Anyway,
thank you for watching.
Next time we'll give you an update on the game. The next time that we see you, we
Should be
will
finished
have
by
another funky food to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just call them funky foods.
From
Funky foods from
what is his name? Migraine Man.
Migraine Man. Migraine Man's Funky Foods.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh,
we're back.
Ah, you didn't get to
we're
see
gone.
it. Ah, that
And
is just not gonna
you
work.
will also hear about the intro to our spring break.
Spring break.
Which
Oh, we
starts
also have.
next week.
I also have a bunch of
we may
mock
be going
exams.
to my sister's house, and she lives on an island, so maybe we'll have a good spring break.
We might.
That's what I'm hoping.
All right.
Anyway, hey, everybody, keep safe.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Be
Don't
strong in the
ever do
Lord.
drugs.
Be
Mhm.
strong in the Lord, and He will be strong in you.
Don't do any Satan symbols or anything like that, because that's always bad. See, once we
And-
started
and
talking
hey-
about the Lord, then it came back.
Yeah, the Lord is always with us. So
mhm.
we need to remember that and do great things. And God bless you.
God bless
keep you.
America.
And we'll see you back here, safe and sound, next week to usher in spring break. 2019 spring break.
Bye bye.
2019. Bye, guys.